Today, students, we are doing lesson 1.2 of Standard 10, The Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond. This video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Before we begin, let's understand a little bit about the author Ruskin Bond. Now, Ruskin Bond was born in 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. What does that mean is he is actually a person of British origin. That is, he is a Britisher. But he has now got an Indian citizenship. That is, he has been living here in India for many years and now he is an Indian. So, Ruskin Bond is an Indian and he lives with his adopted family in Landow in Missouri, India. Now, it means adopted family means that since we know that he is of a British descent, he doesn't have a family of his own over here. Neither is he married. So, he lives with an Indian family which he has now called his own. So, therefore, he lives with an adopted family. Now, the Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He has written thousands and thousands of books, and most of them are stories for children. He got the Sahitya Academy Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra for his published work in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Vibhushan in 2014. So let's read this beautiful lesson and enjoy it. Here's a warm-up exercise. Let's read the following incident. Lokesh had always been a class topper in tests and examinations. However, invariably, that is, always, he used foul means during exams, that is, bad ways. So, here it could mean cheat during exams to gain those high marks. Now, to gain means to score those high marks. Now, we should remember that Lokesh was a class topper. So, how did he become a class topper? Was he able to score high marks? He always cheated in his exams. Now, once on the day of history examination, Lokesh realized that his classmate and friend Farhan came all prepared for maths instead of history. Now, Farhan had become desperate, that is, very, very helpless. He did not know what to do. So, Lokesh offered to let him copy from his answer sheet since Farhan sat just behind him. Now, Farhan refused. He said, "It's all right, even if I get a zero. But I can call it my own zero. I do not want to score a single mark unearned, that is, without any effort. Cheating in exams is for cowards, not me." Now, what is the meaning of cowards? People without courage are called cowards. Now, these words were a turning point in Lokesh's life. Turning point means it was a change that brought about in Lokesh's life. He gave up cheating forever. He worked hard for what he desired, that is, whatever he wished for, and never ever used foul measures to acquire, that is, to gain or get anything. So now, when Farhan said that cheating is for cowards, that made Lokesh think, and that was the turning point in his life. And so he gave up cheating, he started working hard. So there's a lot of learning from this short story. Solve this small exercise. In the given story, which words or phrases can be replaced by the following ones? It means that you have to find words or phrases from the passage above, which means the ones that they have given. Okay, so do write your answers in the comment section below. Here is another exercise. Summarize the incident in 6 to 8 lines, making Lokesh the narrator. That is, we have to write this whole story in a summary, that is just in 6 to 8 lines, and we have to use the first person I as if Lokesh is talking to us and telling us about this incident. Do write your answers in the comment section below for me to check. Let's begin with the lesson. I was still a thief when I met Anil. Now here, this whole story is a narration. It is from a point of view from a person. So he says, the narrator is saying, I was still a thief when I met Anil. And though I was only 15, that is, the narrator was only 15 years old then, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Now, experienced and successful hand means he was very, very experienced and he was successful in whatever he was doing. Now, let's remember that he said that he was a thief. So, he was very good at robbing and cheating. Anil was watching the wrestlers when I approached him. So, when he approached Anil, that is, when he went to meet him, when he went to talk to him. So, Anil was watching the wrestling match and he was watching the wrestlers very keenly. He was about 20, a tall, lean fellow. So, Anil was 20 years old and he was tall and lean. The word lean means he was thin, and he looked kind and simple enough for my purpose. Now, here the narrator is saying, for my purpose is, that is, he went and approached, that he met Anil in the intention of robbing him or cheating him. Okay, because we know that the narrator is a thief. So he went and approached Anil in the intention of cheating or robbing him. I hadn't had much luck of late. So here he says he hadn't had much luck. That means he hadn't robbed or cheated anyone. And so maybe he did not have any money and thought I might be able to get into this young person's confidence. So he said he was thinking, he was watching Anil and thought that Anil is a simple person. He looked kind, and so he may approach him and then gain his confidence, that is, gain his trust. And once a person starts trusting you, you can get things out of that person, isn't it? So that was what the intention of the narrator was. So he looked at Anil first, he realized that he is a simple and kind person, and so he will be able to cheat him very easily, but directly he can't go and rob and cheat. So what is the tactic that he used? He used by gaining the person's confidence, that is, gaining that person's trust. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. So here the narrator told Anil that you look like a wrestler. A little flattery helps in making friends. Now, what do you mean by the word flattery? Flattery is praising somebody, but not really meaning what you whatever you are saying. So you may say something good about that person and not really mean. So here he says a little flattery helps in making friends. So if you want to make friends with somebody, you just try and think about something where you can praise that person. Now, so do you, he replied. So Anil also replied that so do you means you also look like a wrestler yourself, which put me off for a moment. Put me off means I was very annoyed. That is, I was sad about it. That is, he did not believe. So why he did not believe? Because of that time I was rather thin. So he's saying I was a very thin person. So how can he say that I'm a wrestler? So that put him off. Well, I said modestly. Modestly means in a very humble manner, very simple manner. I do wrestle a bit. So he says, yeah, I also wrestle. What's your name? So here Anil asked him, what's your name? So Hari Singh, I lied. Now here the narrator has lied about his name, Hari Singh. Now let's see why he has lied. I took a new name every month. That is, he kept changing his name whenever people asked him, he would give a new name. And why was that? That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. So kept me ahead means now we have to remember that he was a thief. He would cheat people. So he would be on the run. That is, he would run away from there, and the police would come chasing behind him. So in order not to be caught by the police, he would change his name every time. And even the former employers. Now, for his former employers, employers are people you work for. So former means people you have worked for. That is, now you don't work for them. So previously you had worked for those people. So those are called your former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. Now, here the narrator is saying that after they had their small introduction to introduce themselves, Anil started talking about the wrestlers. And we know that wrestlers are well oiled, they oil themselves. That is, the Indian wrestlers. Indian wrestling is different from the world wrestling. So, these two wrestlers were well oiled, that is, they had put oil all over their body and were grunting, lifting, and throwing. So, that is part of the wrestling. Grunting is making sounds from their mouth, and lifting and throwing each other about. So, that is part of the wrestling match. But here the narrator says that I didn't have much to say. So this shows that the narrator did not know much about wrestling. So he did not talk much. It was Anil who was talking and telling everything about the wrestling match. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Now, maybe the wrestling match got over, so Anil started walking away. Now, I followed casually. Casually means not in a very formal manner, in a very informal manner. He started following him very slowly. Hello again, he said. So once the narrator, Anil realized that the narrator is following him. So he says, hello again. So he said, hello, what's the matter? What do you want? I gave him my most appealing smile. Now, appealing means somebody who will start liking you. So, he smiled in such a way that Anil may start liking him. So, the narrator says, I gave him my most appealing smile and he said, I want to work for you. That is, the narrator said that I want to work for you. He told Anil. But Anil replied, but I can't pay you. So, Anil says, yeah, you can work for me, but I can't pay you. Now, this part made the narrator think. I thought that over for a minute. So he started thinking. Okay. And he says that perhaps I had misjudged my man. Now, misjudge is not to, judge a person properly. That is, remember that while the wrestling match was going on, he approached him in the intention of robbing him. So now when Anil says that he cannot pay, that means he doesn't have the money. So this made the narrator think, Hari Singh think, that have I misjudged my this person? That is, he doesn't have money, so how am I going to rob him? So that is what he's saying. That I started thinking that have I misjudged this person? This person doesn't have money, so what's the point in working for him without pay and not being able to get any money and then not being able to rob or cheat him? I asked him, can you feed me? So, in spite of knowing that Anil could not pay him, he still went and asked him that, okay, no problem if you can't pay me. Can you feed me? That is, can you give me food? So, Anil says, can you cook? Now, the narrator says, I can cook. I lied again. So, that means he's lying. He's not telling the truth. He's telling that I can cook. Yes, I can cook. So, will you be able to feed me? Then Anil says, if you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. So he says, if you can cook, no problem. Then I'll feed you if you can cook. So he took me to his room over the Jamna sweet shop. So when he said that yes, I can cook, the narrator told Anil that he can cook. So Anil took him to his home, which was above the Jamna sweet shop, and told me I could sleep on the balcony. Now, balcony is a space just outside your house. Okay, so outside the room, sometimes it's an extension of a room, and just outside the room, there is a small space. So, Anil told the narrator that yes, you can stay here, but you will have to sleep in the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible. So he's saying that the narrator said he had told him, no, he had lied that he can cook. So he cooked the food, but the food, he's saying the food must have been terrible, big, horrible, okay, not tasting at all. Because what did Anil do with the food? Anil gave it to a stray dog, that is a street dog, and told me to be off. That is, he told, he got very angry, and Anil told the narrator, that is Hari, that you can be off now, get out of here. You're lying to me. You don't know to cook, nothing. I can't keep you. How can I feed you if you can't cook? But I just hung around. So the narrator is saying that he just hung around means he did not go. He just stood there. Okay, smiling in my most appealing way. So again, he started smiling in a very sweet smile, so that Anil would again feel sorry for him. Appealing is pleasing manner, and he couldn't help laughing. So Anil, when the narrator smiled in an appealing manner. Anil started laughing. So Anil started laughing. That means it tells us that Anil had forgiven him and he let the narrator stay. Later, he patted me on the head. Patted means just to tap the head in a loving manner. So later, Anil patted me on the head and said, "Never mind. He teach me to cook." So Anil forgave the narrator and he says, "Okay, okay. If you don't know to cook, no problem. You can stay here and I will teach you how to cook. So then afterwards, you can learn how to cook." He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. So not only did Anil start teaching the narrator how to cook, but he also taught him how to how to write his name. He also taught him that he also promised that he would start teaching him whole sentences, that is to learn to read and write, and he also to add numbers. I was very grateful. So I was grateful means he was very, very thankful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. So here the narrator is saying that yes, I want to learn to read, I want to learn to write. So once I am a very educated person, then there will be no limit to what I can achieve. That is, I can achieve great things, I can do great things, I can, be somebody. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. So here now the narrator started staying in Anil's house and started working for him. That is, Anil taught him how to cook. So he's saying it was very nice and very pleasing to work for him. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies. So he says that in the morning he would prepare tea and maybe breakfast for Anil and himself, and then later on he would spend his time buying the day's supplies, that is, buying whatever is required for the day, maybe groceries, fruits, vegetables, all those things, and usually making a profit of about a rupee a day. So that is from whatever money Anil gave him to buy the supplies, he would, keep away some change or some money. So it was about 1 rupee a day. That is how he would keep the money aside without Anil's knowledge. Okay. So I think he knew I made a little money this way. So the narrator is saying, yes, the Anil knew that he kept a little money, the little change that was there aside. And he says that I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind because Anil did not mention anything about it. So the narrator felt that Anil felt it was okay that he is keeping the change. So he says that he felt that Anil did not mind at all that he was keeping a little change from the money that he was getting to buy the supplies and the groceries. Now, how did Anil make money? Anil made money by fits and starts. That is, little by little, he would get his money. That is, he did not have a regular income. He did not have a regular job. He would get little money from here and there. So, that is what it means by fits and starts. He would borrow one way and lend the next. So, if he was short of money, he would borrow it from his friends. And when he had money, he would lend it, okay, to other people who asked for it. And he kept worrying about his next check. So he would always wait when my payment is going to come. He would always worry when is the next check going to come. But as soon as it arrived, that is, whenever he got the money, that is his check or his payment, he would go out and celebrate. So he would not, save the money. He would go out and have fun and have parties with his friends, and he would celebrate and spend all the money. It seems he wrote for magazines. So how did he get earn his money? He would write articles and stories for magazines. So that is how he earned the money. And the narrator is saying that a queer way to make a living. So queer means a strange way. So the narrator found, that is what it was, a very strange way of earning your money. He did not have a regular income, and he wrote stories, and he wrote articles for magazines, and he was getting money. What a strange thing, what a strange way of earning money. That's what the narrator felt. One evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes. That is, one evening, Anil came home with a small bundle of notes, that is, quite a stack of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. That is, he wrote a story book and he sold that book to a publisher. Who is a publisher? A person who publishes the books, story books, and all that. So, that person is called a publisher, and the publisher always will pay money to whoever writes the stories. So here Anil wrote a story book and he sold it to the publisher, and that's how he got a lot of money. So the narrator saw him bring a bundle of money, not little money, but maybe a good sum of money. And at night I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. Tuck means to put it under the mattress, that is on the mattress that he was sleeping, so under the bed. So at night I saw him tuck the money. Anil saw him keep this whole bundle of money under the mattress. Now, the narrator continues saying that I had been working for Anil for almost a month. That is, now it was nearly a month since he was working. And apart from cheating on the shopping, that is, cheating when he was given money to shop for groceries and things like that. So, apart from cheating in that, I had not done anything in my line of work. So he says, I had not done anything in the line of work. That is, we should remember that the narrator is a thief. He would rob people. So telling us that till now I had not robbed any money from Anil except for the little coins or little, about a rupee that he would rob from Anil during shopping. Now, I had every opportunity for doing so. Now, he says that yes, I could have robbed Anil a number of times. He had got a lot of opportunities. That is, he had got a lot of the occasions or chances when he could rob Anil. But he says that Anil, now why he's saying that is Anil had given him a key to the door. So Anil had given the key to the house and I could come and go as I please. So whenever I wanted, I could come. Whenever I wanted, I could leave. And so sometimes Anil would not be at home. So that time I had the house to myself. So I had the chance, I had the opportunity to rob Anil anytime. He was the most trusting person I'd ever met. So he's saying that up till now, all the people that he had worked for, Anil was the most trusting. You could trust Anil. Okay, and Anil also trusted people very, very blindly without even thinking, because here we realize that Anil knew that the narrator is a thief, maybe because he was robbing little bit money here and there, and yet without knowing him so well, he had given the keys to the house and he had trusted him very, very blindly without knowing the narrator at all. And that is why it was so difficult to rob him. So here the narrator is saying that is why it was very difficult to rob Anil, because Anil was so trusting. He would not even bother whether anybody is doing anything. He would blindly trust anyone. So that is why he's saying it was so difficult to rob Anil. It's the narrator continues and says it's easy to rob a greedy man. He's saying a person who is very, very greedy, who is very, very cautious of things, he's saying it's very easy to rob him because he can afford to be robbed. Now according to narrator, the person who is greedy, he says we should rob him, we can afford to rob him, no problem in robbing him. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. He's saying a person who is very careless, who doesn't even know that what he has, what he doesn't have. Okay, so he's saying it's very difficult to rob him. Why? So because sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, so he doesn't even know that he has been robbed. You can easily take the money, you can easily cheat him, rob him, and he will not even know that some money or some things are missing from him. So because he's saying he will not even notice that he has been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. So that he's saying pura all the fun goes out, okay, of robbing that person. So there's no fun in robbing that person if the person doesn't know that he has been robbed. So that is what the narrator is feeling. Well, it's time I did some real work, I told myself. So now here the narrator is thinking and he's talking to himself and he's saying it's better that I start doing some real work. And that is, I'm out of practice. So he's saying, I don't have practice. What is the practice? What was his trade? His trade was cheating and robbing somebody. So he says, I start better doing some real work, that is cheating and robbing others, because he felt that he was getting out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. So here the narrator is trying to pacify and trying to reason out that if he, that is the narrator, doesn't rob that money which he has seen Anil keeping it under the mattress. So he says if he doesn't rob that money, what will Anil do? Anil is not going to keep that money or save that money. Anil is going to waste it, and he'll only waste it on his friends. So he's saying he's going to just have party and celebrate and spend all that money. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So here again he's trying to pacify, trying to reason out that Anil doesn't pay me. So what if I rob the money? That money belongs to me because I'm working for him. So what if I take that money and run away? Because as it is, he's going to spend the money without keeping it for himself. He's going to spend away that money on his friends and partying, and uh, and I also should need the money because I'm working for him and he has not paid me. So that money is, if I cheat, there is no problem. Anil was asleep. So now the narrator was trying for a chance to find a situation where he could take the money, rob the money, and run away. So he found that Anil was asleep, and a beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. So we should remember that it is night time now, and maybe the lights were off, but the light from the moon came to from the balcony on the bed. I sat up on the floor. Now we should remember that Anil had made the narrator sleep in the balcony. So he sat up, the narrator sat up, and he started considering the situation. That is, he started thinking, he started planning, he started scheming about how to rob and what to do. Okay. So all these things he started thinking about. So he said that if I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. So now he's thinking and he's making all his plans. He said, if I rob the money now, then I can run away and catch the train. Express means the train, the 10:30 train, which was headed to Lucknow. So I can take that train and run away. And so he said that slipping out of the blanket, that is, he was sleeping in the balcony. So he removed the blanket, slipping out of the blanket. I crept to the bed. So crept means to crawl, to go move slowly towards the bed. So I crept up to the bed. Now Anil was sleeping peacefully. Anil did not know anything and he was fast asleep without even making any noise. He was sleeping there peacefully and his face was clear and unlined. Now the narrator was watching Anil because he had to find an opportunity to remove the stack of money from under the mattress. So as he was watching, he saw that Anil's face was very clear, unlined. Unlined means without any marks on his face. So very clear face he had. Even I had more marks on my face. Okay, so here he says that Anil's face was very clear without any lines, but I had more lines and more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Now, what are scars? Scars are marks left, deep marks left on your parts of your body when you are hurt, when you are injured, after the part gets healed, there are marks left. So those are called scars, those deep marks that are left on the part of the body. So he's saying my face had more marks and they were mostly scars. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. So here the narrator saying that slowly he crept to Anil's bed and he put his hand under the mattress. Slid means to put your hand, slide your hand under. So he slid his hand under the mattress. Now and he started finding where the notes are, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. So slowly he removed the stack of notes from under the mattress. Now Anil sighed in his sleep. So that is, he made a little sound and he was still sleeping. And while he's still sleeping, he turned on his side towards me. So that is facing the narrator. But still, Anil was asleep. Now, I was startled. Startled means he was a little bit, taken aback. He was a little surprised. And what happened? Why did Anil turn? So I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. So slowly he crawled, that is, he crept and slipped out of the room because now he had the stack of money with him. This was end of part 1. For a complete lesson, please watch part 2. Do solve the questions given in the textbook. And to check your answers, please visit www.jkacademypro.com. The link is in the description box below.